Hi there, good morning. If you just joined us here on the show, welcome back here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get into our big conversation, the big interview, which comes your way every Wednesday. This morning, to get to know who exactly my guest is, take a look at this when I come back. I'll be seated over here with my guest.
Mr. Akwesi Agyeman is the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. Assuming office in 2017, Mr. Agyeman boasts of a diverse career, having held senior roles in banking, communications, and media. Trained at Chilean University in banking and management, he is fervently dedicated to advancing the agenda for Ghana's tourism industry. In 2016, he was awarded for his outstanding contribution to excellence of media in Ghana at the RTP Awards. He is a father, a husband, and an adamant force to the Ghana Tourism Authority. Our guest for today is Mr. Akwesi Agyeman.
Welcome back. So that's my guest for today, the man who is also an entrepreneur, a sportsman, and a very dedicated man to his job, causing too many changes in the tourism industry here in Ghana, and of course making sure that Ghana becomes the global space when it comes to tourism. And it's a good way to actually begin the year with this man that I'm talking about. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome my guest in the studio, Mr. Akwesi Agyeman, the CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority. Sir, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
And Happy New Year.
Many happy returns.
Good.
I thought we were going to talk about tourism. Now you're putting a spotlight on me.
Oh, yes, we have to because, and you see, there's one thing that a lot of people do not really know about you, and it's the fact that you're a very, sporty person, but on the other side, you're very reserved as well. You hardly go speak anywhere.
Yeah, so let's talk about tourism. Let's talk about tourism.
Well, we'll talk about tourism, but of course, we'll get to know you a bit as well. But you were CIMG award winner. In 2019, you won that award, and that's a big deal. I mean, looking at where you've come from after winning that award, and the fact that Africa, everybody's looking at Ghana right now, you must be the happiest man in the world.
I'm happy because I have life, actually, so that's more important. But I think we're trying to do our work to the best of our ability and also work with a team that we have, a very strong team at the authority to make sure that, Ghana is positioned where it ought to be. In the past, I think we have paid so much lip service to tourism. For me, it's something that God has blessed us with. We have so many tourist sites, attractions, the people themselves, the warmth of our people, the hospitality of Ghanaians and everything. It's something that no country can boast of. The fact that we are the center of the world where we are connected to so many continents by direct flights and other things is something that we should be able to take advantage of. And so for me, that has been the focus. How do we harness and leverage all the resources that we have, leverage the talent that we have, leverage what God has given us and work with everybody. It's an all-hands-on-deck approach, making sure that everybody comes to the table. And so we've been doing a bit, but I believe that the sky is the limit. I don't think we've arrived yet. Because for us, being the #1 tourist destination in West Africa doesn't mean anything if we are not able to conquer the rest of Africa. So we are looking at the big boys. We're looking at how we can be like South Africa, how we can be in conversations with Morocco. These countries have millions of tourists coming there. So yes, we can boast of growth, year-on-year growth that we are moving, but the target is how do we start playing along the leagues with the Moroccans and the South Africans and Kenyans. That for me is what keeps me awake.
It keeps you awake. I like that. Yeah. You don't sleep?
It says sleep is for the weak. So we keep going. The work is such that, a lot of our activities happen at night. So it's a 24-hour job. You're always on the move, always on the go, because you've endorsed the events that are happening. I take, for example, the New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
We had events that we had endorsed that went through the night
To the
next day. And so after midnight, the watch night service, I was at Labadi Beach till 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I was on the beach. And when I sent pictures to a few of us, they said, why can't you sleep? I said, the people out there are not sleeping, so how can I sleep? So we keep doing what we have to do.
I know it's a difficult task. Looking at where, like you rightly said, tourism was before taking over and where it is right now. December, we know we're supposed to be, our usual busy December like we always have, but Sing-a-thon came through, and then we had to just expand it, and Akwaaba Village became the place everybody wanted to be. Did you see it happening the way it has happened in terms of Sing-a-thon? We look at Cook-a-thon as well.
Yeah, I think when we started out the year, we started December in GH in 2019 as part of the year of return.
Yeah.
And said, let's climax the whole year of return with something big. And so the idea of creating another brand, December in GH, came out. And we said, okay, let's put all the events that happen in Ghana together as a sub-brand of tourism and try and promote it so that people can come to Ghana for leisure activities, to have fun, to connect, to network as a global African family. And so it worked well, thanks to people like Boris Kujo, Bozoma, all those people who came around that time, the Full Circle team. They also gave us some lift because these are celebrities who have huge following. And the fact that all of them decided that they were going to come and spend their Christmas in Ghana helped push the agenda for us. And so, fast forward, we've always been looking at how do we expand it so that, we listen to the feedback. People say, it's becoming too Accra-centric. How do you make it nationwide? And so we open up to the private sector, ask that more people bring events, we endorse them, we seek what kind of support that we can give in terms of marketing, in terms of brand support, logistics, and other things. And so this year, 2023, we said, okay, people come and sometimes, we've had feedback that sometimes people say, we come, we stay in our hotels, we go to the nightclub, we come back in a hotel.
Yeah.
So let's create an atmosphere where people can come and experience Ghana in one location, like a one-stop shop. So the idea of an Akwaaba Village came up. Now the next thing was, where could we do it? So we were looking for venues, and it's quite difficult in December to get a venue to do anything.
Yeah.
And so we ended up in a discussion with Ghana Airports, being offered that park. Quite difficult to turn it around because it was more like a forest.
Yeah.
We said we'll take a swipe at it, and so we did it. Along that line, we had already started conversation with Afua Asantewaa and her team to see what support we could give them, because the Sing-a-thon was something that we knew was going to put Ghana on the map in a big way. We saw what happened in Nigeria.
Yeah,
Hilda thing. So we said, okay, let's also take a go at this one. And so we said, okay, let's have the Sing-a-thon as part of the Akwaaba Village experience so that people could come there. As they are there, they are eating Ghana food, listening to Ghana music. There's fashion there, people, small businesses selling stuff. And so that was the idea. And I think, thanks to you anyway, credit to Joy Prime. And it became like beyond anybody's wildest imaginations. Looking at the crowds, looking at the traffic, and sometimes 24 hours, every day you go there, every time people were just trooping in. And for me, it shows what we can do together as Ghanaians if we all put our minds to it. Because with this one, everybody was supporting her. It wasn't a time for politicking or anything.
Yeah.
Everybody said, let's go. This is Ghana. Let's do it. And I think that should be our mindset going into 2024 and even beyond. That, look, let's pull ourselves together. Let's pull our resources together. No matter who the person is, no matter what. Afua Asantewaa has shown us that you can go beyond your limit. And she really pushed herself. And that also brought on board more partners. People wanted to come in to support, to be part of what looked like a very good Ghanaian story.
Yeah. Now there's Cook-a-thon also happening in Tamale. I don't know how the support has been like in terms of GTA. What are we looking at that? What can we get from that?
I think Cook-a-thon, also came in. But I think in terms of planning lead time, we didn't have that much lead time with Cook-a-thon, like we did with Sing-a-thon, because as far back as October, we already started some conversations with Afua and her team on the Sing-a-thon.
Okay.
I mean, Cook-a-thon, we only got wind of it when we were in the middle of this Sing-a-thon.
Yeah.
And so it became a bit difficult to juggle the two at the same time. But we said, okay, let's get, because we didn't know how far Afua was going to go.
Maybe
days. So we said, let's finish this and then we just. But we've engaged, people are on ground. We have a team there led by Angelo, the Northern Regional Director, working with the team there. So we are going to provide some, I mean, we've already started providing some logistical support, but we're going to do more to make sure that she goes through, because it's always easy the first few days.
Yeah.
But as you go along, then now the pressures
fatigue sets in and all
that. So we're going to support and then see how, because what she's doing also talks to the idea of Eat Ghana, because she's cooking Ghanaian food.
Yeah.
Just like Afua was singing.
Over 40-something food already.
Yeah. So it's good. It's a good look, and I believe that all these initiatives, for me, what I'm happy about is private sector led. It's a young guys, young people coming up with all these ideas, and then we coming in to support. I wish we could do more and have more people doing stuff like that, because it keeps the energy of especially the young people going. I mean, if you look at the crowds that are going to the modern city, hotel, outside and everywhere, it's not the same numbers as at the Akwaba village, but quite encouraging.
You took over from acting CEO to becoming the CEO yourself ever since that you got into that office. What was your major challenge taking over the tourism industry?
I think there were multifaceted challenges. One, the fact that resources. I mean, if you look at where we are compared to other countries and where we want to go, let's take Rwanda. I mean, a country that can sponsor Arsenal, PSG, and all at the same time, versus what we get. If you take the national budget, for example, you see that, I mean, the monies that are going into energy sector, aviation, and all that, compared to what goes into tourism, it's just peanuts. And so one resource was a challenge. How do we harness all the resources that we have? How do we make sure that we are part of the national conversation? I mean, and so for me, the key thing was trying to mobilize your base, working with the private sector, working with the people who are already in the industry, making sure that private sector understood where we were going, and they themselves will carry us along. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we do a lot of visitations, we do a lot of marketing, but if you don't have a strong private sector that will sell, you're not doing anything. So making sure that we are aligned with the private sector was another challenge. How do we make sure that there's trust? We build a relationship of trust. We have the Ghana Tourism Federation, that is the umbrella body. But beyond that, we have about 20-something different associations, car rentals, tour operators, drinking bars association, traditional caterers association, hotels association, progressive hotels association, all of them. How do we work with everybody, making sure that we are on the table? Thankfully, the Tourism Act itself had clauses in there that we could depend on. So, for example, there was a Tourism Development Fund that had started somewhere in 2011, but the collection started in 2013. So we realized that, okay, this is something that we could leverage. If we could collect more, if we could engage more and make sure that at least we get some resources on our own to start doing some of the things that we could do. I mean, marketing is a big activity. I mean, if you want to really be out there, I mean, you want to play with the big boys, you need to pay. It doesn't come cheap if you want to be on different platforms. But we didn't have that kind of resources. I mean, to be a sponsor of Arsenal or Man U, or we've received.
We had an agenda with CNN. What happened with that agenda?
We did. I mean, every now and then we do something. We do some spikes on it. We do make sure that we are top of mind still. But we realized that we could go the unconventional way. That is, try to come up with activities that will get media attention. And so stuff like the Year of Return, December in GH. I mean, Ghana people celebrate Christmas anyway. But creating it, making sure that, okay, it becomes something that everybody can talk about. I mean, the international media want to have a piece of it. They come. I mean, CNN have been here, BBC, all of them come in. Okay, we want to see what is happening here in December. And so we went far. We did more with less. I mean, the little that we have, we made sure that it went far. We made sure that we could turn around some of the things that we were doing. And for me, one other challenge that we also had was the fact that we have so many tourist sites and attractions, but so little resource to fix them. I mean, if you take waterfalls, I can't even count the number of waterfalls we have. If you take the slave castles and dungeons that we have, how many do we have? About 28, 29, all scattered around the country. But where is the resource to fix all of them? And all these things are also not under the Tourism Authority anyway. You have the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board, you have Parks and Gardens having some of these sites like a Brick Garden. You have Forestry Commission having Kakum, Shai, Mole, and all those things. So the issue of also working together became critical. How do you make sure that there's trust? I mean, for me, if you start having that trust relationship with all the agencies, then we start working together. We start moving in the same direction. And that's what has happened for us over the last 7 years or so, because everybody understands that this is where we want to go. So it's no longer an issue of tourism authority. Tourism.
It's not an isolated case.
It's a tourism. So whether you are museums, whether you are parks and gardens, whether you are forestry commission, that is the end goal. And once the numbers start showing, once people start seeing, I mean, hotels start seeing occupancy rates go up, restaurants get booked fully, car rentals are getting their bookings. Everybody comes to the table. Everybody now realizes that this is a new agenda. Let's all get on board. Let's work together to move it. And so far, so good.
Last year, after December, there were a few issues that came up. We had some podcast hosts, even speaking about the way restaurants treated them in terms of services and all that. Did we move from that? Did we make better from that? And when you heard some of these things, how did that affect you?
We've always had a mechanism to get feedback. And for me, I wouldn't hide the fact that customer service is becoming an issue for us in our industry. We've tried under the Ghana Cares project to train a lot of people in customer service delivery. But, I mean, if you look at the fact that last year we licensed about 8,000 or so facilities, you can't do all at once. So we do it in piecemeal, we do it in phases. But I believe that what we've been telling our operators is that we are in for the long haul. I mean, when we started December 2019, I think a lot of people thought that it was a one-off. And so everybody was trying to cash in. So we had a lot of issues. But now everybody understands that every year, December is going to be like this. So let's try and make sure that we leverage it. We make sure that there's equity and there's fair play. And so if you're a business owner, you are not taking advantage of, you take advantage of the situation, but not of the people who are coming. And so pricing becomes an issue, making sure that we serve them well so that there's repeat visitations. That is important. If people decide that every year, I'm going to Ghana, they will come. But if they come next year, that place I don't want to go again, they will start losing customers. And the feedback will go that these guys don't treat you well when you go. But we start seeing that people are coming. I mean, if you take somebody like Boris Kujo, Bozoma, I mean, I'll talk about the celebrities, AJ Johnson and co. Every year they are here. And so it tells you that at least we're doing something right. At least they are bringing in. This year, for example, Bozoma and Boris both organized their own events, the Africa Economic Conference by Boris Kojo, and then the Badass Workshop by Bozoma. So it tells you that we are getting in the right, we are moving in the right direction. And so, yes, there were challenges. We've tried to surmount as much, a lot of them, but there are still bottlenecks that we have to deal with. Funding for me is always an issue. Thankfully, we've been getting some support from the Ghana Cares project, and so we've been able to do a few things that hitherto we would not be able to do. The tourism fund is also growing, and so we're able to get some support for marketing, for capacity building and other things. But I think the infrastructural gap that we have, especially with roads leading to tourist sites, facilities that we need to upgrade. I mean, currently we are doing some work. I mean, next week, for example, we are doing the commissioning of the Bonre Kente Museum, the first Kente Museum. But
that'll be done here in
it's in Kumasi. It's in Bonre. But I wish that we could do about 20 commissioners in a month because we have so many sites. I mean, we're currently doing work in Salaga. We have 2 places, the Salaga Slave Wells and the Slave Market. Both of them, we are doing construction, but we're doing it in piecemeal. So we do a little here. We are doing something in Tano Boase, where we have the Sacred Grove. We're doing some work in Chichire, where there is a mystery fish. These fish, nobody touches them, but they eat bread. And so you go there and you throw bread and they like jump. Some of them are as big as you. And so it's also an eco side that we are developing. If we had all the resources, I mean, every day people come. I've discovered this here in this place, but we don't have the resources. So we're doing it in piecemeal. But I think if the resources, if we were treating it like the way
we're treating the education sector, the health sector, and all that.
Okay, let's build 50 tourist sites. I'm telling you, a lot of our issues will be resolved because people will come.
Is it because the government does not believe in what you stand for, or they do, but it's just that they don't have any money to give you?
I think it's, believe now, I would say yes, because...
we're there.
Yeah, because, I mean, how many times has the president in the State of the Nation mentioned tourism? I mean, every time...
almost every year.
Yeah, every time he's talking about it. So, and we've started seeing some support from Ghana Cares to do some work. I mean, the brief project that we're doing is under the Ghana Cares project. We're doing something, Asantewaa Mausoleum is also being funded by the Ghana Cares project. But we all know that once you're getting support from Ministry of Finance, there's competing needs.
Yeah.
You want the Asantewaa Mausoleum to be done. Somebody wants roads to
hospital
be built and all that. So there are competing needs. So I wouldn't say the belief is not there. The belief is there. The resource challenge is what we have. And we will continue to work. We have to work smarter than we're doing in terms of how do we attract resources. We've started looking at development partners. Thankfully, for the first time in 2018, we had the World Bank project, the Ghana Tourism Development Project, which now funded stuff like the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park and all that. So I'm hoping that if we get a renewal of that, we can see more facilities open up. But on our own, through the Tourism Development Fund, we are doing a bit.
The celebrities, are they helping you? The ambassadors, are they giving you what you want?
Yes, I mean, there are some ambassadors that we have not appointed who are ambassadors anyway, like the Boris Kujos, the agent.
But
locally, what we have are ambassadors who are doing very well for us. I mean, if you take somebody like, I think in 2017, when we said Ochame Kwame was an ambassador, I mean, people say, what do you want? Why? But look at the number of songs that Ochame Kwame has played that we are using. I mean, I'm made in Ghana.
Yeah.
I'm made in Ghana. And then he played for
song.
us, See Ghana, Eat Ghana, Oseye, whatever. And then you had people like, the other time, Reggie and Bully. What we always tell our ambassadors is that we see something in you. We see value in you. So we want you to create value that we can support. So it's not like sometimes we'll invite you to our events to come in there to grace the occasion, something. But those are peripheral. We want ambassadors who are going out there to say, look, I'm doing this. This is my cause to promote tourism. And then we follow. And so some of them have been doing music videos at tourist sites for us. Some of them have been doing a few things. But I believe that in the new dispensation that we are going into 2024, we will expect more from people that we call ambassadors. I mean, already, I know Afua Asantewaa and a team are in Senchi relaxing. But once they come, we want to sit down with them. After all this noise and what we do, we want you to...
The work has to be done.
The work has to be done. Let's leverage it. Let's make sure that... Because she's an incredible person. I mean, beautiful... very, very committed to the work that...
And very much loved now.
Yeah, very much loved. And so we want to see that it's not like 6 months down the line, everybody has forgotten about her. We want her to be in the eye of the storm. And the storm is, how do we make sure that using her personality, using her charisma, using her popularity, we can attract more people to domestic tourism. She's very popular. If she's visiting all the tourist sites that we have in Ghana and showing that to the rest of the country, I believe that our numbers will grow. It's growing anyway. I mean, we've moved from somewhere around 500,000 in 2019 to almost 1 million now in terms of tourist site visitations. So we want to go beyond that so that people during holidays, on weekends, during their vacation, would not think of, flying out to another destination. Either go to Mole, go to Paga, Jirapa. All these places are available for people to visit. And somebody has to be the champion of it. So we feel that Afua Asantewaa, with what she's done, can help us with our domestic tourism drive.
Let's talk about Commonwealth.
Which of the Commonwealth? Commonwealth, as in Commonwealth, the Commonwealth of Nations. Commonwealth of Nations. Okay, what about that one?
What are some of your fond memories? I hear you were a very, very strong personality way back in school.
I wouldn't say I was a strong personality, but I was an easygoing person. I have a lot of friends. These are very, very young days in our life. Coming to the university for the first time, there is freedom, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And so we had to make hay while the sun shines. So connected with a lot of people, and I still have fond memories of my time in Commonwealth, in the Vandal City.
Yeah.
We were there in 1990, and so those times that was the busiest period for Ghana in terms of our democracy, because it was like a transitional point. People were clamoring for a move from military rule to constitutional rule. So a lot of activities, a lot of student activism, and the Vandal City is also the boiling point for all student activism. So we did our bit, but I think for me it's a place where I made a lot of friends, a lot of contacts in the university, which you need. It's a lifelong journey that we are on, and if you don't have the network, if you don't have people that you can call for support, if you don't have people that you lean on when you are in difficulty, then so for me that's the fondest memory of Commonwealth.
I was growing up like, in terms of family.
I grew up in Kumasi, went to Pukuari, but I come from Dunkwao. Actually, I come from Ayamfre, which is near Dunkwao, but I grew up also in Dunkwao. Then came to Accra for university, actually. So I'm not an Accra boy. We came to Accra, but as they say, we came to hostel. So we came and entered the university. From there, went to did some media work. Was part of the initial team that started the breakfast show on GTV. Those times we used to have TV start at 3 p.m. And so I remember Edward Boateng, David Jima, and co from CNN. They came and said they were going to partner with GBC to do breakfast show. Everybody thought it was a crazy idea. Who watched breakfast show? Everybody's going to work at 3 p.m. We come home, but they did a good job with Professor Frimpong. I think Kojo Frimpong at that time was the DG then, and co. They bought into it. I was a salesperson on that project, and so, but you had to go to the studio every day. So we woke up 4 a.m., was there selling breakfast. Through that, got in touch with people like, my first contact with Jake, for example, was trying to sell the breakfast show product to him at Lintas. And I realized that I didn't know anything. But the questions that he was asking was very, very deep. I said, no, I need to do more. And so went back to school, did my MPA. For Legon, because of that, I stayed on because I was there for about 6 years. I was on campus because we had a strike. And then when I finished, I went back for another 2 years. And so between a period of 1990 to up to about 97, almost everybody who passed through, we connected. We were quite outgoing there, and so everybody knew us, sort of. And so from there, I went to work with the bank. Started off, I did some work with Stanbic in South Africa, and then that time Stanbic owned Merchant Bank. And so I transitioned to Merchant Bank here. From there to EcoBank, and then went back to school. But then I realized that I was more of a media person than a banker.
Banking.
So when I finished my MBA to learn, I decided, look, I'm not going back to the bank. I'm doing media. So teamed up with Edward, with Global Media Alliance.
Yeah.
And the rest, as they say, is history. Now I'm doing tourism. So I've forgotten about media a bit. But I've also
But
found...
you've always had to sell something at some point.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So you even in the bank, I was mostly a relationship banker. So it was always trying to network, trying to bring business to the table. Business development has been my thing. And so it's helped me in the tourism drive because I'm looking at the thing and saying, how do we sell? How do we sell Ghana? How do we sell the product that we have? A lot of people will talk about, oh, we don't have good roads to our tourist site.
Yeah.
I said, look, you don't have the good roads. The roads are not going to be fixed in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. But you don't sit on and say, we don't have the roads, so we're not going to sell. Let's try and make something out of it. Let's try and sell the bright sides of things that we have, whilst appealing and making sure that we lobby to make sure that all these things that need to be done are fixed. And so it's a glass half full versus a glass half empty situation that we face all the time. And we're doing a bit on that score.
Awesome, awesome. If you just joined us here on the show, Mr. Kwesi Agyemang is my guest. He's the CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority, and he's been spending time with us over here. We're getting to know him and what he's been doing over the period. But Zurich.
I don't know the meaning of that name. That is a name that I inherited that I don't know where it comes from.
But your your staff know about it.
Oh yes, but I've unfortunately I've never been to Zurich before.
You love sports.
Yes, I do.
Which teams do you support?
I don't want to mention them because you will see that I'm in a very bad situation now. I support Hasselhoff and Arsenal.
You can imagine, right?
So I don't. So you can tell that I'm always heartbroken with the teams that I support. But I mean, I love football. I love.
But are you aware they call you Zurich in your office?
Oh yeah.
The staff call you Zurich?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I know that that's the name. I mean, when I got to Form 1, I think my senior brother had that name, but by the time I could say Jack, I was called that name, and he doesn't have that name anymore.
Oh.
And so that's been the name.
Took over.
I took over the name, and I don't know where it came from because I've never been to Zurich before. But a lot of people call me that name. So I've even added Akwesi to it. My email address is Akwesi Zurich, because that's what a lot of people know. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Your staff tells me there's an excellent relationship that you've been able to, in terms of your working relationship with them. How do you create that?
I think it's not really a difficult thing. Like I indicated, I come from a background, I wouldn't say, I was born at a period where my dad died very young. I mean, when I was quite young. And so I had to, those days how we used to do it. You move from one family member to another, stay with this uncle, whatever. So meeting and connecting with people has been, from my childhood, has been like that. Moving around, staying with different uncles, aunties. You are shipped here.
Yeah.
You go here after 3 months, they say, no, you are being naughty, then they move you to another uncle or whatever. So growing up has been like that, trying to connect. I mean, I came into the authority at a point where, prior to that, we had done some work with GTA. That time it was the Ghana Tourism Board when we were at the Tesano. So we were working with them in organizing the tourism awards. So I knew a few people there. Unfortunately, most of them had retired by the time I got appointed.
Yeah.
And so we just have to start from the base that we are going to work together. And I always say you don't have to be the best of friends to work together. You just have to get along. So trying to get along with everybody, people coming from different backgrounds, I mean, persuasions, temperaments, it's always difficult. But I always say, look, in the course of our work, we may get on each other's nerves, but let's work for the betterment of our country. I mean, we all mean well. Everybody will have a different idea on how we can build this country or we can build a tourism authority. But let's all see that, I mean, I'm here for a period. I'll be gone. Somebody will come. Let's support whoever is there. And so that has been the clarion call. And so far, I wouldn't say there have been no challenges. I mean, we've had a few staff issues I inherited what we call a migration. We're moving from where we were to a new scheme of service. And it was the heady days of GTA where people were very agitated that somebody is at a certain level, there's a new scheme of service that is putting him maybe a step lower. Maybe his junior or her junior is now moving. You know, so it becomes very, very. But we have to say, look, with open arms, we are doing this thing to the best of our ability and in the best interest of Ghana. No strings attached, no favoritisms, no. We are all Ghanaians. We are all working together. And so once people start seeing that you are not out there to witch hunt anybody, you are not out there to get at anybody, people will come along.
Yeah.
And so far, I would say I've received a lot of support from our union, from the Senior Staff Association, and all the various groups that we have, like the Ladies Club and everybody. I mean, we work together. We have conversations. Sometimes it gets very heated, but at the end of the day, we know where we want to go, and we are doing the work.
Mm. You also a part of the GFA management team.
Yeah.
Are you worried about the current situation in terms of the Ghana football, the Black Stars, if you like?
You know, I've been part of football for a very long
time. Yeah.
And so sometimes it's very difficult to talk about some of the things that are happening that I don't understand. And I always tell people, when I started working with the FA, I mean, it was during Ben Kofi's time. We brought in the first, at that time when ABC's contract had expired, there was no sponsor for the league. We brought the first contract, I think, with Kenafama.
Okay.
So everybody, Kenafama Premier League. And then we moved on to the One Touch, that is now Vodafone. Brought them in. And so we've been working with them. So we worked with Ben Kofi, we worked with Dr. Kofi Amwa, Nyaho Tamaklo at that time, and then moved on to Kwesi Nyantechi, and now to Keto Kreku. I've been there. I've been working with all these people. And I believe that all of them mean well. I mean, nobody is at the FA, at the top echelon of the FA who thinks I'm going to fail. But you can only succeed when you get the support. And so that has been my...
but don't you think the support has always been there? I mean, if you look at Ghanaians and the way we support...
I'm talking about even within the
team that forms.
So once we push everybody and we are all on the same page, then you expect that Ghanaians
also follow.
So a house divided, a divided house cannot stand. So we have to make sure that everybody within the various groupings. And so I started working at the FA, working with Kwesi Nyantechi as a vice chairman of, apart from the sponsorship syndication, going into mainstream football administration with Nyantechi at that time. I was the vice chairman of the Division 1 League Board, served about 2 terms under Nyantechi. My chairman then was Owahine Champon. We did very well, trying to bring in sponsorship. We had GN Bank and all those people coming to support. And so we're getting there, and then what happened with number 12, and there was a transition and all that. And so Kurt came, he said, okay, he wants me to continue with the Division 1 and then also work with the FA. I mean, my thing is, I'm quite a very detail-oriented person, so I will ask questions. I will try and ask, okay, why this, why that, why that? And I think sometimes it helps. And so with the current system that we have, I don't think we have achieved success with the national team as yet under the current dispensation. But I believe that we all have to understand that we need to build a team for the future. And for me, that is where I pick my joy from. That throughout the difficulties of the last AFCON, heartache in the World Cup, although we did quite well with South Korea, and it wasn't a bad performance per se, I think Ghanaians expect more from us. And so going into every tournament, especially the one that we are going to, we're expecting to come up with our heads high. I mean, the time was when every time we were going into a tournament, everybody feels that Ghana is going to be a favorite. This time, if you talk to a lot of the pundits, Ghana is not seen as a favorite. But that takes away some of the pressures from the boys, because these are young kids. If you look at the team that we have, average age, 23, 24 among them. So very young guys. So they will learn. And if we give them time, if we build a team for the future, 5 years horizon, I think we'll be back to the level that we were before. But now we need to build. And I think it's in the building that maybe we've not been able to communicate to Ghanaians that we are in a rebuilding phase. And so the expectations that we put on ourselves, that, we are going to the tournament, we are going to...
It's as though we're there already.
We are all there already. We are not. I mean, we are competing with teams that have been together. If you take Senegal, the team have been together for a very long time, and the results started showing. We need to start also working with the sports authorities to build the infrastructure that we need. Football is infrastructure. I mean, recently people were talking about why is Ghana going to camp in South Africa and all that. I mean, I listened to some of the conversations, and I had arguments with people that, look, if you're looking at the facilities that we have here, to be a top nation, I mean, if you go to the Accra Sports Stadium, you go to Kumasi Sports Stadium, we are not there yet. We need to make that conversation paramount so that we start building the infrastructure that we need. Because you're sitting in a place where, I mean, yesterday, for example, the team had to train at Abrankesi, which is a private in Kumasi, but it's like a 30-minute drive back and forth from the hotel. Because if you go to Kumasi now, we only have that Kumasi Sports Stadium. No other facility than Abrankesi. And so we need to have all these facilities available. Grass, people can train. I mean, it's good that we have all these astroturfs that have been built.
Okay.
But I think we need to do more.
Okay. Now we'll take a quick look at Cook-a-thon and what's happening in Tamale.
Okay.
And then we'll be back.
But
Okay. Martina, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Martina, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, what's happening? What's going on there? What's the latest you can update us on?
We are in the midst of the Cook-a-thon and the capital Tamale modern city, the venue where Faila has done 57 hours, and then she's made over 6 different dishes, and they have this.
Hello, are you there? Hello? Martina, can you hear me? Okay, I think we lost her. We're still going to get back to her and find out what is happening with Cook-a-thon in Tamale. Now, she's been cooking lots of foods, you know, and the people over there are enjoying the food very much. Oh, those gathered over there, everybody, yeah. She's fed about 20,000 people already. Yeah. So that's a good one. That's a really good one. Oh, she did Twiza for the second, I think the first day, getting into the second day.
what about Dawa Jollof? I mean, she has to, I have to go there. I have to go there. And,
Mr. Ajima, what do you do for fun?
oh, sports.
You just watch football.
I just watch football.
Do you play football yourself?
I play football. I still
You
play.
still play?
Yeah, we play. We have a group called the Union Ghana. We play every Saturday and every public holiday. We have people who are almost 70 years still playing. So we go and play, but not at the pace that can make...
Young men will play.
But we play at our own pace. We connect, we network, we talk about things, and then we move on. But I love sports, not just soccer. I also follow other sports like the athletics, the basketball, and other things. It's just that these sports are not very popular in this part of town. So, but here, I follow sports, I follow football, I go to games, local games, Division 1, calls. I go and watch. Trying to see people kick around football is something that is pleasant to the eye for me.
And you love gospel. What's your favorite gospel song?
Hey, that one, it comes and goes. So, okay.
So currently, which one do you love?
Currently, the one I love is Kofi Owusu-Pepra. My train already.
Jenim. Oh, okay.
Can you sing it?
My train already.
But I don't have a terrible voice, so don't let me try it.
Mine is more terrible than yours now.
So that's the raining one. Maybe tomorrow it will be a siesta.
Oh, it changes.
Yeah, it changes, yes. And so my wife tells me, then you move on. That's what it is. But I love the gospel. I love what our gospel musicians are doing. I mean, I love local gospel music. So internationally, some of the people are also doing very well. I follow them. But hey, that's all part of what we do.
Let's talk about the impact the music has made in terms of what Sing-a-thon did, you know, over time. You think that this is something that, you know, we should continue? Because now people are looking at, and there's even a plea that every year there should be Sing-a-thon. there should be something happening in Ghana that has to go into the Guinness books. Is it something that you want to, champion?
I think it's something that we've also been discussing.
Oh, okay.
Like I indicated, I don't think the number of people who heard about Akwaaba Village would have been that many had it not been for Sing-a-thon and for thanks to Joy Prime. And so we always have to create something, whether it's a Guinness Book of Records that we target or something that can bring all of us together. Because we saw clearly that in the 5 years that we've done December in GH, this particular year, the focus was more on what was happening around the Ghanaians and all that. So it wasn't now a conversation of the diasporans have come to have fun. It was Ghanaians having fun, watching their sister trying to break a world record. And we will do that. We will engage with our partners, with the various event organizers, and make sure that we have something for Ghanaians every December that will really excite everybody. This year is an election year, and so we've been on the drawing board trying to look how early we can even start, because once we get into 7 December, I don't think there's any conversation that will happen apart from election. So we will look at it and come up with a few things. For example, we've been engaging with Rampage Stage, which is part of the Northern Hill Carnival. And 2024, the Rampage Africa is coming to Ghana. And so we will bring in events, international events, we will bring in things, but we will also create things that can excite Ghanaians. And so far, Sing-a-thon and the Cook-a-thon have proven that Ghanaians want more entertainment.
So we'll probably add football-thon to it.
Football-thon, but seriously, I got a call, I think the 4th day of Afua thing, from a guy in Kumasi that I hadn't, I knew him, but I hadn't spoken to in a long while. And they said, look, they want to do a repathon. I said, what is that? They'll cry for, so I think they can make a Guinness. So
okay, give me a minute. Let's go back to Martina and find out what has been happening there in Tamale. Martina, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello, Martina, can you hear me?
Good morning and welcome to the Modern City Hotel, where Faila is attempting to break the 144 record set by Mama D. I must say that she's enjoyed so much support, and that has kept her going. The resilience she's shown, the tenacity she's shown, the power she's shown is just unmatched. And people are so excited from far and near. People have come in to support her, and people have traveled all the way from Accra to Tamale to give Faila the support. Now Faila has done over 60 meals already. She's done 57 hours. She has taken 8 breaks, and she keeps going and going and going. We will get to hear from her doctors how she's faring, the assurance, whether she'll be able to go further and more. And so just keep on watching us on Joy Prime. The fun is all here at the Modern City Hotel. Yes, ma'am. Welcome to Joy Prime. You just travel all the way from Accra to Tamale to give us the support. What's the motivation?
Well, my friends on Facebook, they are supporting her all the way from Accra. And because they are mostly CEOs, they sponsored us to come here. So I have come with plane, but the rest are in the bus coming.
How many people are we expecting from Accra to come and join?
The number like 15 or so. Yes.
15 people.
Yes.
Now you have watched it from afar. What's the feeling like?
Well, we just finished the Sing-a-thon, and then another Ghanaian is also giving us another reason to be happy. The feeling is just something you can't explain. It makes you proud as a Ghanaian, and so even giving virtual support is not enough. So whatever you do to come here, our people have done it for us. Tessie Technologies and Cello Arts, they are the ones who have sponsored us to be here today. And that of Gideon Aduku, he's also present here in Tamale. Yes, so they have given us this sponsorship.
Now you have come in, you have seen the hours she's done. You've interacted with the people. How's the feeling in Tamale?
Oh, well, I've been greeted with a hamatan. That alone is welcoming. And secondly, the hunger as well. Seeing that people are small here, we know we'll be treated well. And the happiness and the hunger, we know it's sorted.
What time did you arrive, and have you tasted our famous TZ?
Well, I came today, and then I saw when I was following, I realized she's done with TZ. I don't know if she will be preparing it again because it's one thing I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
I'm sure you will get to taste other varieties and you would love it. Thanks so very much for making time to pass through. Now we have her doctor here, and then we get to understand how she's doing, her health-wise, whether she's okay, should we worry about anything? If not, should we keep pushing? Yes, Doc.
Good morning. Currently, she's doing well. She's in fine form. If she was a footballer, I would say she's on form, isn't it? Yes. So she's doing very well. She's stable. Everything is going according to plan. As the days go by, we realize that she's developing more endurance. And that is the nature of the human body and mind. The more you encounter a situation, the more you build resilience and endurance towards it. So the rate at which she's going, we are optimistic that this record is likely to be broken.
Now, she's taking some long breaks and people are getting worried. Is it that it's getting to her, she's tired already, and that's why we're having this
I think when she had a very long break, there were concerns. So then we reduce the breaks also. Like I said, it's about adaptation. Once you go into a battlefield with a plan, but as you go along, based on the circumstances, you have to learn to adapt, okay?
And that's some live feed and updates from Tamale, where we have the Cook-a-thon happening with our sister Faila. She's doing pretty well, and we're here, we're supporting her. We know the people in Tamale are also supporting her. GTA is also supporting her, like they did for Asantewaa as well. So we're seeing another ambassador in the making, right?
Oh, yeah. She's doing well. She's doing well.
Yeah.
It's just that we're not there to eat the food.
My guys are there. So
my guys are there, though. So I know they will be doing justice to the food that comes out.
But I know you are excited about everything that has happened for you in 2023. You're looking forward to a greater 2024.
2024 will be massive for us. There are a lot of things that we have up our sleeves. Last year, we introduced, not us, but the African American Association. Juneteenth is 18th June is a day that is very much celebrated within the African American community in the U.S. For the first time in Ghana, Juneteenth was celebrated by the African American Association. This year, it's going to be big. We have coming up with Warner Entertainment, the Warner Group.
Okay, Warner Bros.
The West Africa Music Festival, that's also in the works for June. In a few months, March, we have our paragliding, the Kowo is coming up. And then we'll start early. Christmas will have to come early this year for us so that we can get a lot of the activities out of the way. Okay. The cultural bit is also very massive. This is a year we have the 25th anniversary of the Asantewaa. Okay. So a lot of cultural activities in the Ashanti region. Ghana is going to host the All Africa Games. A lot of people are coming. Already we are in discussions to have the Olympic Museum here, go around where a lot of the things that some of the people who won the Olympics have that can be displayed here. So we are expecting a very good year for tourism. For tourism.
Great. Mr. Agyemang, thank you so much for making time for us this morning here on the show. I know you hardly make time for these, but we're grateful.
No, I thank you for the time, and also thank you so much for your support to the arts and the work that we do. Everybody, I was in Dunka on the 30th, right? And then everybody said, oh, we watched Sing-a-thon, we saw you on Joy Prime. I said, wow. So you guys have done something. We thank you. We thank the multimedia group, Kwesichum and everybody, Charles and the rest. We thank you so much for your support.
That's Mr. Agyemang. Kwesi Agyemang is the name, and he's the CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority, spending time with us here on the big interview this morning here on the show. And of course, that's going to be our wrap for this morning. We're coming back, God willing, tomorrow at 6 a.m. Make sure that you tune in and enjoy the very best of everything that we have for you. My name is KMJ, and Asantewaa was also here with me as well. And tomorrow we're back again. But in the meantime, you'll be trying a now or Breya Swase. Nah, yes, because we want to dance. So we will dance to it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Thank you so much.